Alright, so today I'd like to discuss why it is I don't put more time, effort, energy, money, etc. into my YouTube channel and what I've done already. Because there are quite a few cool ideas that I could pursue that I haven't pursued. And often I don't answer these questions until I really get a reason to answer them, but I feel that Eli the Computer Guy's channel getting completely shit-canned by YouTube was, a good event upon which to discuss this. Not a good event in general. That's a pretty awful thing to happen. It's a really informative channel if you watch it. Whether or not you like this YouTube channel, that's an opinion, but what cannot be disputed is the fact that it makes 6 figures a year for its proprietor and, more importantly, for YouTube. And in spite of that, it's been deleted by something that can be pretty much traced down to an algorithm saying we don't like this. And because at YouTube and at Google, they don't have people behind the appeals process, they probably have another fucking algorithm, this really, really silly, asinine, basic level crap is allowed to happen. So he has this video on it's not a hacking video. It's literally a video on like how when you type a form, how you type a password into a field, how you see those dots instead of seeing the actual password, how that's not really that secure. It's not a hacking video, and it's and that video itself violated YouTube's guidelines. And now I'm pretty sure it was just some stupid algorithm that just saw the word hack and decided to delete it or to give him a strike based on it. But when he appealed it, here's where the real problem comes into play. It's that instead of there being a real person on the other end who's well informed, understands technology, and has a brain in their head, it's some dumbass that probably makes $6 an hour that's clicking through this shit with the right hand while they're checking their phone with the left hand. And when he appealed it, that person probably looked and said, "Oh yeah, it said hack. The algorithm said hack. Oh, hey, honey. Yeah, I'll pick that up on the way home. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we should delete that. Yeah, deny appeal." It's not a real process. It's not dealt with by real people. So a channel that makes YouTube, 6 figures a year, that provides good information to a lot of people, that attracts quality advertisers, not crap advertising, not like a funny dog video that just so happened to go viral, but like a channel that real companies would pay real money to advertise on, gets the shaft, loses the ability to upload long-form videos, loses the ability to live stream and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of fucked up. And this goes back to the job that I had at Avatar Studios about 9 years ago. So I didn't quit that job because I hated the people. I didn't quit it even because I hated my job. I just kind of quit it because there was grim prospects if I kept working there. So how long would it take before I'm somebody who's respected at my craft and respected for what I do? And I would notice part of the company culture there, and all the people there are great fucking people that run a great fucking business. Avatar Studios is one of the best, if not the best in the world. But there was this idea that, there's the kids and then there's the real staff. But the kids do the crap work, and the kids are not really people that we ask for an opinion. The kids are not people who really get to take part in real discussion, and the kids are not people that we would necessarily trust with certain responsibility kind of thing. And it's just the way a lot of these studios work. There's the kids, the interns, and many of which are between the ages of 23 and 27, and then there's the adults. Now, I didn't start there at 23 to 27. I started there when I was 17. So I'm working there, and I'm thinking to myself, I could work here for 10 years, and I would still be the kids. And that just seemed kind of like this really grim prospect to me. And again, it's not something where I guarantee that was the case, but I'm just I'm thinking to myself, I could spend 10 years here, 10 years busting my ass, and I will be the age of the people that you're calling kids in a conversation. And that just, I don't know what it is. It just felt weird. It just kind of like, it was this little cloud over any of the accomplishments that I had, that I would just have this in the back of my head. And I kind of look at YouTube the same way. I kind of look at this situation the same way. So right now my channel's got 27,000 subscribers, right? I have one channel with 27,000 subscribers. And I'm at a point where if I have any real issues, there's nobody I can talk to. There's nothing I can really do about any issue that I have. I'm just nobody. At 27,000 subscribers is a joke. You have channels with 150,000 subscribers where they sit there and they watch news and they react to the news and throw stuff at their television, and they have 150 or 200,000 subscribers. You have channels where people showcase the new shoes that came out, not do anything nuts, but they're just like, here's a shoe in front of the camera, this is $150. Yeah, this is a new Nike model, look at the colors on it, and they have 200,000 subscribers. 27,000 subscribers ain't shit. So he has 600-something thousand subscribers. So he has about 30 times the subscriber base that I have. So at nearly 30 times the subscriber base that I have, when he has problems, he cannot have them resolved. So I'm gaining subscribers at about a rate of 3,000 subscribers a month. So if we were to do some math here, let's say that I'm gaining subscribers at 3,000 subscribers a month, right? So let's do the difference. First, we have to do a little formula for the difference in subscribers. So let's just make a little Google Chrome window with a calculator here. I like using Google Chrome as my calculator. It works much better than my brain. So we're going to open this window. Hello. Here we go, screen capture. So we do 620,000 subscribers, which is what I saw the last time, minus 27,000, which is mine. So that's going to come out to 593,000 subscribers. Now we do that divided by 3,000, which is the rate that I'm growing. So that's about 197 months. What's up?
Can you pass me the hard drive at L24?
How many pieces would you like of it? Oh, she's pissed. Oh, look at that face. What's that face about? Wait, there's the cable. You need the cable.
Oh, yeah.
Why is there such a bitch face? I don't get it. I tried. Fuck off. I can't edit that out. It's the truth. Like I recovered your. This is funny. This is one of the. This is worth the interruption to the video. So I recovered this person's data once, right? They took it someplace and they said that it was gonna. They said they told this person that it was going to be $2,000, right? $2,000 to recover the data. I recovered the data. We charged them $200. I'm able to get everything. I even used Parted to create the partition map from scratch. Like from scratch, I recreate that crap based on something that I see in another program. So I'm making my own partition around your data after cloning your semi-clicking drive, right? $200. And we put all that data on an external drive that you bring us. And you don't back it up. None of it is backed up, right? So that new drive now starts clicking. This is like almost a year later, right? They bring me the external drive that I recovered everything to, which is their drive, not mine, and they said it doesn't work. I try to recover the data, and it is beyond hope. Now they're mad, and they want their $200 back for the recovery that I did. And like, because one thing you'll notice if you sit in the store is I actually have the reason I like this whole office setup is I'm very isolated. But in addition to being isolated, I actually have a direct line to the front. So if some douchebag is giving me bitch face, I can actually see it on camera. And that bitch face just like went right through my skull. It's like, fuck out of here. Anyway, back to whatever I was doing here. But really, like, you want the money back for the data recovery from a year ago because I cannot recover that data from the drive that we put it on for you 1 year ago. Are you out of your goddamn mind? Because I can't recover it again. Like, no. You get one. You should figure it out. You did one thing stupid. We got it. We got everything back. We gave it to you. We told you put this shit on 3 separate drives. Have it on Google Drive, on Dropbox, on your laptop, on your desktop. If it's in one place, it doesn't exist. And you keep it on one place for almost a fucking year. And I don't know. Some people, man. Bitch face is gender. Bitch face is something that is not gender specific, by the way. Men can totally exhibit bitch face. It's a very specific. It's like the opposite of duck face. I don't know how to explain it, but I wish the camera was pointing that way too, so you could see it. But that'd probably be illegal. And back to the point of my video. Back to the point. So anyway, so what I see here is it would take me about 197 months, which if I try to make this into years, it's going to take me about 16 years at my current rate of subscriber growth to catch up to Eli the computer guy. So for me to catch up to where Eli is, it's going to take me 16 years. So I could be on YouTube for 16 years, and that's how long it's going to take me to get as many subscribers as he has. And once I'm here for 16 years, I will still be at a point where if YouTube just decides they don't like something, that they can just go flip, and I can't talk to anybody and my shit's gone. It doesn't really make me want to do any YouTube content. It really doesn't. So again, it's the same thing with Avatar. Like, I could spend 10 years here. So I'm 17. I could spend 10 years here, and I'm still going to be at the age where people think I'm one of the kids. Because there really was this idea that if you were young, that like, you know, in that specific kind of industry, you know, we just have less level of trust for you than if you were one of the people who's kind of like over 40. There's this idea of the kids, and then there's the idea of the people who know what they're doing, who've been there, who've been through everything before. And there's this, you know, and you have I work my ass off, and I talked about it in some other videos I've done. How how I work my ass off to get some basic level of respect, and not just at that studio, but any studio that any broadcast environment or mission critical studio environment that I went to when I was under 20. It's damn near impossible. But yeah, here I could spend 16 years on YouTube, and I will be exactly in the position that Eli is in, and that. I don't want to be in that type of position because that kind of sucks. It's like I could spend all that time and all that effort and put all this content out, and still people are not going. I'm still gonna have no rights and no future, and that really sucks. One of the things that I love about being an entrepreneur, one of the whole points of being an entrepreneur is that when you don't like the way something is going, you can just get up and leave. It's not like when you're an employee and it's like, well, you deal with this or you're fired. It's no, if I don't want to deal with something, I can still be in business. I can still have my job, but since I'm my own boss, I can say, I don't really feel like dealing with that. That's cool. And there's a lot of cool content that I've wanted to do on YouTube. So, people have said, why do you only fix Apple motherboards? Why don't you do videos of fixing other stuff? And some people have tried to troll me into it by saying, you don't know how to do anything else. Yeah, prove it. Here's the thing. I mean, this is a way for me to make money that is relatively simple, that I already have a lead generation process that costs me nothing at this point. I already have a lot of people bringing this stuff. There's already a reputation for it. So I pretty much come into work, having done, done all the work of building the business already. I just come into work, I sit in my chair, I have my stack of boards, I go through my stack of boards and fix them, I leave. Pretty cool way to make a decent living. If I were to try to fix televisions, can I fix a television? Absolutely. Half of the problems with TVs are much easier than the crap that I'm dealing with, but how much money is how many people are going to bring me a $300 television and pay me $200 to $300 to fix it? Not a lot. I could fix studio gear, but again, how many people have Pultec EQP1s they want to bring here? How many people have Neve 2254s that they want to bring here? How many Neve 31102 modules am I going to get that I can actually make hundreds of dollars off of so that I can support my staff and make a living? Like, for me to do that kind of stuff, for me to show you how to fix all types of other cool gear, or even do my speaker reconing projects and things that are just hobbies of mine, for me to film that, I would have to do that instead of doing my regular work. And what makes this channel something that's actually possible for me is that I'm not going out of my way to be a YouTube content creator. So I've never really identified with people who are primarily YouTube content creators, because YouTube content creators, like a lot of them, they write scripts for what it is they're going to say, they think about what they're going to do, they set aside time to do the video. I don't do any of that shit. I have a little camcorder that's sitting in the corner right over here, and I have this little camera over here. That's pretty much it. I have this little thing over here. The only inconvenience to me is that it may block my view of the monitor, but it just plugs right into what I'm doing. And then I have that thing that sits over there. So it doesn't really, it doesn't interrupt anything. If I want to film what I'm doing, it's not like I'm going to stop everything else I'm doing. I just do one click. This in and of itself has actually become a part-time job. Like, me sitting here and just having to describe what I'm doing as I'm doing it over and over again, believe it or not, slows down the process tremendously. Having to put the microphone on, make sure the video setup works, set up the program, make sure there's free space, go through the video, edit the video, encode the video, store the video, upload the video, make the descriptions, put the little annotations and little things in there, and post links to it. That's actually become, I've had part-time jobs where I spent less time on my part-time job than I spent just on that. If I were to do cool things like fix all those other types of devices that I'd like to fix on camera, that would become a full-time job. And as a full-time job, that would have to make me a living. Like, if I were to do things like, one idea that I had was to have a Nordson 3D X-ray machine. I wanted to buy a crowdsource Nordson 3D X-ray machine and go over to the boards that I was not able to figure out, and then put a working board in there, have it analyze the working board, then put the dead board in there that I couldn't figure out, and have it scan it and tell me what was different between the dead board and the working one. So this way, I would have an answer even to the boards that I couldn't figure out. Like, I've had these kind of ideas, but in order to really implement those ideas, I would kind of have to become a full-time YouTube person, and I would have to put a full-time amount of investment into this. And I would have to turn it into a job where I actually relied on this YouTube thing for an income stream, a revenue stream, because I wasn't putting time into all the things that made me money. Is that something I really want to do when I could actually spend 16 years doing this and be shit-canned because of a fucking algorithm? No way in hell. The same way that I wouldn't want to work at a place where I could be, again, all respect to Avatar. I am who I am today because I had the opportunity to work there, and I'll always be grateful for it. But do I want to work at a place where 10 years later I could still be considered one of the kids? It's kind of demoralizing in the same way that it's kind of demoralizing to realize that I could be on YouTube. I could be doing the same thing for 16 years and do it full time, and I could still, again, I can be deleted by an algorithm, and I could be at the mercy of some jackass that is texting on his phone while he's half reading my appeal while he's sexting with his girlfriend. That fucking sucks. Again, the great part about being an entrepreneur, as I said, is that you can just you can choose what you want to be a part of. So, if again, getting that tied into YouTube, it kind of, where that's your living, it kind of makes it hard to walk away and do something else when that's, when you put that full-time amount of effort into it. I like what I do right now, and I think one of the great parts about being an entrepreneur is being able to give the middle finger when you don't like a situation. Eli mentioned in that video, he said, "I don't like this situation. I don't like the way it's set up. I can't. I think I'm worth a phone call because of the amount of money I make YouTube. I think I'm worth a phone call before screwing an account that makes 6 figures a year. I don't understand why they do this. They're not encouraging content creators to have loyalty to the platform." But at the same time, you have to look at it from YouTube's view. In that same video that Eli made, he's also talking about how, I'm going to link to it in the description, he's also talking about how he's still going to upload content. He's actually changing the type of content he's going to upload to the main channel to fit this new 15-minute crap that they imposed on him. So he's still going to make content. He's not going to delete his videos, and he's going to keep them monetized. So not only is his channel going to exist and make YouTube money, his channel, since there will be new content, is actually going to grow. So as time goes on, YouTube gave Eli the middle finger, and YouTube is actually going to make more money off of Eli than they did before they gave him the middle finger. So why should they change, I had opportunities last year where I was making a decent amount of money as some ideas that I had progressed. So one of these ideas was making $3,000 or $4,000 a month. Then one month I got a $15,000 check that I took home for me from that idea. Then the next month $8,000. The next month $9,000. The next month $6,000. The next month $9,000. It was good money. And there were certain disagreements that I had with how that idea was being implemented. Some of them involved health. Some of them involved some of the principles that I have. So, I was not born with a particularly healthy body. Right now, I don't have a particularly healthy body. So I care about health. I care about certain basic principles being upheld, and I felt they weren't. I don't particularly like being told that I'm making things up or I'm imagining things to be true, and in front of other people. I dealt with somebody that did that kind of crap for 17 years. I don't really have much of a tolerance for it as an adult. So I said, you know what? I'm making this much money, but these things are not changing, and they weren't changing. Nothing was being done differently. So I decided, goodbye. I threw away something that could have potentially made me over $100,000 a year. Just said no. And I was asked to return. And I said, I don't want to go back to that idea because none of these things actually changed until I quit. See, that's the thing. It's like nothing. And I would feel the same way if I was Eli. I would feel, if I had to delete my videos or I had to actually remove the monetization for the YouTube to extend me an olive branch, I would still kind of have that middle finger there because you only changed not because you wanted to, not because you agreed with my argument, not because of any mutual understanding. You changed because you were forced to by pain, and that sucks. I don't like dealing with people where you'll only change when you're forced to by pain. And again, what sucks about that entire thing is that he's not gonna nothing there is gonna change. So YouTube actually has no reason to do anything differently than what they're doing right now. None. Again, Eli stated that he is going to continue posting content to that channel, and he's not going to delete any of the videos, and he's not going to stop monetizing them. So YouTube is actually going to say, if you put this on a little stupid little graph, it's going to be like, we were nice to him, then we stopped being nice to him, then we were still not nice to him, but we're still making more and more money. I try to be a part of the change that I want to see in the world. If I think that something should be a certain way, again, the whole idea behind being an entrepreneur is the ability to put your middle finger up as a flag when you see fit. And and the reason that I can do that is because right now I kind of have this. I have not based my revenue stream on YouTube And if I had based my entire revenue stream on YouTube, if YouTube were to give me the middle finger, well, it would suck to lose that money, but I could simply scroll up there and hit delete. I'm not going to let somebody give me the middle finger and still make money off them. Like, if YouTube were to do that stuff to me, you bet your ass monetization is gone on all these videos. And, I don't have it in me to allow people to do that type of crap. And if I believe the world should change in a certain way, and that just so happens to require that I walk away from large amounts of money, I'm going to do that. But I have that luxury because if I were to pull the plug on all my YouTube stuff, I still have a business model that's sustainable. It's like that's not really inciting any change in the world. I mean, there is no change incited when somebody wrongs you, somebody treats you like crap. You not only don't make any changes, but you actually are continuing to help that person that's treated you like crap. I mean, as much as people may wonder why is it that people use the YouTube content ecosystem, why is it that YouTube treats people the way they treat people? The reason YouTube treats people the way they treat people is because the content creators allow it to happen. The content creators are sending the message to YouTube that you can step on us. And thank you for stepping on us if we still get a deposit in our bank account. And that's like, again, I've given up chances to make a lot of money in the past because I didn't want to feel that way. And again, sometimes I look at my bank account, or sometimes I look and I think about what could have been. And you can't think about what could have been. You just have to think about, was it worth it for my principles? That's kind of why. And I don't want to get into this big thing where I complain about YouTube to the point of saying like they are awful, terrible people. YouTube does some pretty cool things. So, for example, I lost my backup a few weeks ago. And I have about 6 or 7 terabytes of YouTube footage. So I lost all that. And I wanted to re-download it, not the crappy re-encoded YouTube version, but the actual nice original version that I uploaded. And you can do that. Google has an archive feature where you can actually go back in and re-download all your stuff. And I found that they actually had 7 terabytes of unaltered files that I had originally uploaded. So I want you to think about this for a second. Those files, a lot of that stuff that I uploaded, those 20 gigabyte per video files, so that you could really, like, if I wanted to take a single image from the microscope and have it look really good in a big screen, like I record these in very good quality, all those big files, those were being made before I monetized my YouTube channel. So let's say there was only 4 or 5 terabytes. YouTube was storing 5 to 6 terabytes of data before they were making money off of me. There's cost in that. Look at what those drives cost. Let's also assume that Google has some type of SAN with redundancy. So there's you're not just looking at the cost of an enterprise class 4 terabyte drive, which at the time may have been about $279 or $400. You're looking at multiple. So it was costing Google over $1,000 to store my data, and Google was storing my data and paying that $1,000 to store my data, and making the bandwidth available to me should I want to download it at 30 megabytes a second, which I did, by the way. All of that was available for free before I was making the money. So you may wonder, why are there no alternatives to YouTube? Well, would you be willing to provide me with 6 terabytes of free storage and a gigabit pipe with which to give it to me if I decided that I wanted all of that content that I had uploaded to you back? Would you do that for free? Would you think that's a sane business practice? It's really not. And the reason that there's very few competitors to YouTube that are as big as YouTube is because as shitty as YouTube treats people, as crappy as Google is to its content creators, there's nobody else out there that's really going to do for the content creators what YouTube does. Again, I ask yourself, would you provide somebody redundant, free 6 to 7 terabytes of storage and a gigabit pipe with which to retrieve it from if they needed it? Would you do that for no money? For somebody who makes you no money while you're already hosting their video content and with no ads in it? I would never fucking do that. But apparently Google does. But yeah, while they're doing those great things, you kind of have to deal with the fact that they do some not so great, like screw with people's lives and fuck up their revenue stream. So that's why I don't base my business model on YouTube. That's why I don't invest crazy amounts of time into, putting special thumbnails or crazy editing or inviting other people onto this and having it as a show or crowd sourcing or crowdfunding, whatever you call it, buying a Nordson 3D X-ray machine or fixing all these other cool types of stuff on camera. Like, again, it would be fun to, like, I posted to Instagram recently this series of stuff that I did as a teenager. It was like Seymour Altoids headphone amp that I had built when I was like 16 or 17 years old. And there are ways that you can do a lot of other cool stuff with that, where you buy like a little bigger tin of Altoids, but that will be able to power 4 ohm speakers and just all sorts of cool shit. And I find that stuff fun, but if I start doing that on YouTube, then when is my work going to get done? Like, when is all this stuff going to go away? Besides the thing in M3, because you guys who've been watching this channel for a while know that shit's never getting fixed. So what makes this entire thing sustainable is not that I'm doing YouTube for the sake of YouTube. I'm filming what I do on a regular basis. I'm filming the jobs I do on a regular basis and uploading that. Like, I'm filming the things that make me money. I don't really have the latitude to film things that don't make me money, because if I do that, then I get to the point where I'm kind of like relying on video in Google for my income, and that's bad. I mean, I remember a lot of people calling me paranoid because in 2008 my account was closed with I forget, it was before Google Checkout. Actually, I think it was Google Checkout. My account was closed for no reason, and they wouldn't give me a reason for security reasons. They couldn't tell me what the reason was. And when I remember calling the so if you want to accept credit cards, if you want to be a merchant services provider, you have to put a specific phone number on file with the state or the city. It's been like 7 or 8 years since I researched this, so I don't remember the exact organization. But if you want to be a credit card services provider, whatever, you want to do that, there are certain licenses you need, and you also need to put your phone number on file with the state. I called that number at Google. It goes to a busy signal that hangs up on you. Like, they're not real people. And I kind of decided at that point, I don't want to do business with Google. I don't want Google to be responsible for how I make money. I never want to base anything on Google, because at any given time, there's no humans. There's no people at Google. There's nobody that you can speak to when you have a problem. And everything is so algorithmic in nature, and everything is so kind of like, some kind of horror movie where it's just kind of like robots take over the earth. It's just, again, you have a problem, there's nothing you can do. It sucks. And, I don't want to do business with that. And, you guys may say that I was paranoid while I was saying that. I made posts on the internet about this, and everybody's like, you're nuts. That's not how Google does business. You don't understand how they do business. You don't understand how to do business in general. You don't understand how to talk to people. But again, they just totally fucked with and just demoralized a great content creator that's had a 6-year run with them, that has been producing content that's made them hundreds and thousands of dollars. And they won't so much as give him a phone call. Or at the very least, the benefit of the doubt, enough to spend 90 fucking seconds watching that video to realize that in no way, shape, or form does that video violate their community guidelines. No consideration whatsoever. Do you understand why it is I wouldn't want to base my revenue stream off of Google? I would never in a million years want to base my ability to make money on YouTube. That's just no way in hell. And it would be cool to do that stuff. Don't get it wrong. I still have an idea in the back of my head, like, it would be so cool to actually build an amplifier from scratch that can power the TLCS 3.6s in my office that fits in an Altoids can, and like modify the Seymour design and show you how to add stages to it. Like, that stuff would be so much fucking fun. But again, there's fun and there's profit. And, like, I didn't start out wealthy. I wound up dropping out of college because A, I was failing a lot of it, but B, I just needed money to basically pay my rent and do stuff. And I didn't start out with a lot of money. So I still kind of have that mentality of, if I stop doing the things that are profitable for me, then I'm going to kind of be back where I was, like eating 3 or 4 apples a day because I could afford like $1 or $2 worth of food. I don't want to be back there ever again. So I do the things that make me money, and I film them. It would be fun to have a Nordson 3DX mirror machine. It would be fun to have a Kickstarter for that. It would be fun to have people send in all different types of electronics and use the same type of troubleshooting mentality that I use for troubleshooting this stuff, and to apply it to different types of electronics in different fields. But, yeah. What do I want to base my revenue stream on? You bet your ass I don't want to base my revenue stream on YouTube, because doing business with Google is just a fucked up ass way to hopefully pay the rent that month if an algorithm doesn't decide that it doesn't like you that day. No, thank you.